Hello everyone, Derek Sam Toys, and we are back with another action figure review. And today we've got the Unrivaled Series 16, 16 Orange Cassidy, and I am fairly excited to get into this one. Looking at some of the other figures in the wave, it would be pretty cool to maybe find the Kenosuke, or maybe I'll just get the ringside exclusive. I know I want the Hardy Boys and the Julia though from this set. Will I ever get them though? The world may never know. Of course, the box looking pretty spiffy for its usual figure packaging. But you know, that's not really gonna matter because of course we do gotta open this bad boy up. So let's get this figure out of his plastic prison. Alrighty, you guys, first things first, now that we've got Orange Cassidy out of the box, we can go over all of his accessories. He does come with some fairly nice accessories. One, though, is a little iffy, and that's actually this backpack. You know, it's actually a fairly nice backpack for a cloth sculpt, and I say that because, you know, the last figure review I did, they gave you a plastic white bag. And of course it doesn't open like this one does, and this one you can kind of tuck it into itself so it actually, you know, it appears closed, but it can stain the figure hands, and you don't want that, of course. But I want to say there is a tad bit of staining on my hand, which it's not the end of the world, at least with how it looks. Because nowhere else on the figure that I've noticed is stained like from this jacket, which I want to say is due to the fact that they actually have it outlined with white fabric and not black, though there is some black that does bleed through. So maybe you might want to give this one a good little wash too. I don't know. That is all up to you. I can say the jacket is actually a fairly nice feeling jacket. I don't know if this is how the blue denim jacket felt with the t-shirt mold and stuff, but this is a fairly nice jacket mold in itself. Of course, for me, this is my first Orange Cassidy, so yeah, I don't really have all that much to say. I held off on getting anything Orange Cassidy related as I didn't like the look of the pockets. Of course, he does come with his thumb up hand, which I guess you can kind of use as like a Superman punch too, but I'd prefer to also see like some fists up in here to replicate his orange punch. And then you've got the sunglasses that they had to rubber band to his head, mind you, because for whatever reason, I guess these were not staying on the figure properly. Something like that, because, well, out of the package, they fit on him fairly fine. Of course, other than that, the last accessory is the AEW All-Atlantic Championship, or whatever they call it nowadays. I'm just going to call it the All-Atlantic Championship. Very beautiful looking title. You got a bunch of different flags here in the middle, the AEW logo on the sides and stuff like that. It kind of reminds me of the AEW Championship itself, but a little bit more fancied up. It's not just a big AEW logo in the middle of it. You got something that kind of gives this the vibe of the Intercontinental Championship of AEW. But with all that being said, let's get into this Orange Cassidy itself. Now, first things first is he's got some pretty good range of movement here, at least from what I am noticing. I do not really have any complaints on this articulation, at least for mine, at least so far. He's got the nice double jointed elbows. Wrist articulation is moving quite nice and buttery smooth. He's got a pretty alright ab crunch, pretty nice bend back. So, you know, this figure is posing for days, because unlike the pockets in feature, he can kick forward now. He can do super kicks with no problem. This figure is everything I was hoping the Orange Cassidy figures would possibly have been when we saw AEW getting a figure line, because we all had to, have hoped for an Orange Cassidy one day. Got the double jointed knees, got ankle articulation, you got the upper calf rotation. This is a fairly nice figure. Of course, you got a little bit of paint splotch there on the one shoe, but the shoes are looking fairly decent. Oh, I might have, oh, maybe not. It's actually rubbing away. I thought there was a stain from the jacket on the figure. It must have just been a little bit of fabric that kind of got caught on the figure. Yeah, because there it is popping up on the chest. Anywho, he does pose around fairly well. I'm not going to test out the ankle articulation all that much, because I did kind of forget to do that, but it seems to be moving as it should. Nice and buttery smooth for the most part. The kick forward and stuff could be a tad bit better, maybe not so stiff feeling, but to have a Orange Cassidy that you can actually pose around, I feel is quite worth it. And just on that alone, this might be worth the pickup for you. But with all that being said, why don't we get into the final pose and talk about this figure a little bit more, shall we? Alrighty, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of getting a little bit past my bedtime, I guess you could say. I gotta work tonight, so I'm gonna try to run through this one a little bit quicker than I did the last review. When it comes down to this Orange Cassidy, at the end of the day, I do love the jacket. The sunglasses are a little iffy, but some of the figures, just the sunglasses feel weird trying to put them on. I feel when it comes to AEW and their sunglasses and stuff of that nature. The book bag is a nice quality, action figure accessory, but I do hate how it stains the figure hand, and I say that from a little bit of personal experience. Just thankfully it didn't stain it too heavy, but at the end of the day, it is kind of just whatever. It kind of funny I say it like that, because we're doing the review on the guy who just constantly loves to say whatever, in a sense. But at the end of the day, this figure is a fairly good figure on the AEW portion of things, and when it comes down to it, on a scale of 1 to 10, at least mine, I'm gonna have to give him a good solid 8 out of 10, a good old solid 4 out of 5 on the Dave Meltzer star rating, the good old 1 to Young Buck match. And yeah, with all that being said, I don't really have much more else to say. So, if you liked the video, feel free to like the video. If you didn't like the video, womp womp, I guess. But if you did like the video, feel free to go check out some of my other action figure content, obviously, such as action figure reviews. By the time this goes up, you guys would have already saw I did the ringside exclusive hook, plus you could say I also added the Taz in there for a little review too. And then on top of it, we also did do a couple of Mattel reviews the other night as well. So, go check those out if you would like to. Feel free to go check out some of my unboxings and or some of my other random content that I have on here, like fixing Mattel legs, because modern Mattel legs are trash. And on top of that, of course, we do also have the pig fed, for those of you maybe wondering. If you didn't see the last video, we are currently in our main event right now, working on that. It is kind of similar to the Money in the Bank match, but I make sure that they can only cash in on the World Heavyweight Champion. Maybe if I added a second brand and they have a World Championship of sorts, or like a major champion, you can cash in on that brand as well. But yeah, it's called Case of Defiance, and it's on the Ladder War pay-per-view. For those of you who are curious, we have had already, I want to say, 7 parts, featuring Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton versus Bryan Danielson in a triple threat ladder match, amongst many other matches. So feel free to go check that out as well. And on top of that, I don't really have too much else to say. Feel free to maybe go follow me on Instagram under the same name. And or if you would like to, feel free to subscribe here on YouTube. After all, it is free to subscribe. And if you guys could help me out a ton there, as we are on the road to 350 subs. We are currently sitting at 324 subs, so feel free to do that. And yeah, I don't really have much else to say other than that, so have a good rest of your day, night, evening, whatever the case may be. I don't know, because I'm not in your time zone, but if I were, would I enjoy being there? Well, either way, deuces, ooses, yeet.